Welcome guys. So today topic is typecasting. Okay, so we are following the Java playlist. So if you haven't watched the previous videos on Java, okay, so I request you to go and watch previous video. We will get to know everything about the Java. Okay, and I'll provide the link for the Java playlist also in the description box, so you can check it on. Now today topic is the typecasting. Now let us understand what is typecasting. But before that, we have a data types called byte data type, short data type, character data type, int data type, long data type, float data type, and double data type. Okay, so we have a this much data type in Java available. I have told you in the previous lecture also. These are the primitive data type. Okay, now what is typecasting? Typecasting is basically the conversion of one data type into the another data type. Okay, if we convert any of one data type into the another data type, we call this process as typecasting. For example, I am converting from byte data type to the int data type. This is typecasting. If we are converting from character data type to the float data type, it is typecasting. Understood? So typecasting is conversion of one data type into the another data type. But there is a problem. We cannot convert character data type into the float data type. Is it possible? No. Is it not possible? It's not possible. Why? Because character hold the hold the character value, and we all know that float hold the integer decimal value. So it can't be possible. But there are some scenario where it can be possible. For example, if we have, I'll tell you the example. If we have an integer 10, so we are storing 10 in what variable a, right? So we are storing 10 in variable a. So integer will take only the integer value, that is the 10. Now what happen if I declare int equals to int a equals to 10.5? Is it possible? No, it will not possible, because we all know that integer only take the decimal value, only take the integer value, but here it is the decimal. So in this case, if we are declaring in this manner, so there is a loss. There is loss of data. There is loss of data. Why there is a loss of data? Because integer will take only 10. So the output, the result for this is what? 10. Output is only 10. Int will ignore the 0.5 value. Int will ignore the 0.5 value. So there is a loss of data. So to get rid of this thing, to get rid of loss of data, Java introduced the typecasting. Understood? Now how we can get rid of that thing? If we declare it as a what? Float, not as integer. If we declare it as a float, for example, float b equals to 10.5, then compiler will take the exact value that we are storing in variable a, that is the 10.5. So here in this case, there is no loss of data. There is no loss of data. So this is the thing, and this is the importance of typecasting. Understood? Now see the definition. Typecasting is the conversion of one data type into the another data type. It's called the typecasting. Basically in Java we have a two type of typecasting. First, the implicit typecasting, to which we call it as a widening typecasting, and another is explicit typecasting, to which we call it as a narrowing typecasting. The important thing that we have to note it down, that whenever we convert any smaller data type into the larger data type, we call this process as the implicit typecasting, or you can say it as a what? Widening typecasting. Why widening typecasting? We widen this capacity. How widen the capacity? Integer will take only 4 byte of data, while double take 8 byte of data. So we are what? We are widening the capacity. That's why we call it as a what? Implicit, or you can say widening typecasting. Understood? Now explicit typecasting, to which we call it as a narrowing typecasting. Why narrowing? Because we are converting a larger data type into the smaller data type. Double is a larger data type, and we are converting it into the byte data type or integer data type. Integer take 4 byte and double has 8 byte. So we are just decreasing the capacity of one data type into the another data type, and this is known as the what? Explicit typecasting, or to which we call it as a narrow typecasting. Okay, next important thing, implicit typecasting, it will occur automatically. Understood, guys? It will occur automatically, but for doing the explicit type conversion, we do it by manually. Programmer do it manually. Understood? And there are a lot of differences also in the explicit type conversion and implicit type conversion. Okay, but whenever you convert the doing with the operation with the widening typecasting, you have to remember one thing: both data type must be compatible with each other. For example, you cannot convert character data type into the double data type. Is it so? No, we cannot convert because these two data type are not compatible with each other. Why not compatible with each other? Because character store the character value, carry store the character value, while double deals with the integer decimal values. Okay, so we can, these two data type is not compatible with each other, so we cannot do any type of casting between these two, either explicit type casting or implicit type casting. So one thing is to be noted: the data type which we are converting from or to any data type must be compatible with each other. Understood? We have to remember this, or I'll tell you the thing that why we need the typecasting. Okay, so let's start the coding. Close the Sublime. We'll create one file here. Inside this, we'll name implicit dot java. Okay, inside the implicit dot java automatically created the class file, class, and we'll write the main function here. So we'll write main. Okay, inside the main we'll create one variable called x. Okay, that is 45. In the integer section we have declared over here x equals to 45, which is an integer. Now I want to convert it into the bigger data type, that is the double, or you can say the long or double data type. These are the bigger data type as compared to the integer. Okay, so we'll create the another variable with long data type, which is equals to y equals to x. For the conversion in case of the implicit data type, there is a syntax to convert. First of all, we have to take the variable x equals to 45. It is in the integer section. Okay, and we want it to convert it into the longer data type. So we'll create the another variable, that is y, and we'll store the value of x in y. Understood? After writing this, we'll print. For printing, we'll write this is out. So inside this is out, we'll write after conversion. Okay, so after conversion, the value of the value will be stored in the y. So we'll check y. Fine, we'll save this. See the output. It's running. Say it is a smaller data type. Okay, and this is what larger data type. Fine. Okay, so we'll again save and see the output. Run code. See, it is running. Okay, so after conversion, the value of y is equals to 45. So I have declared 45 in the x variable. Now it is get converted it into the another variable, that is the larger data type, that is long, and 45 value of 45 get stored into the y, and we are printing y. It means data conversion successfully. This is known as the implicit type of conversion. So we'll have to remember the syntax in case of the implicit conversion. Just declare the variable. Okay, and take the another variable, okay, in another data type, and store the previous variable in the newly created variable, and then print the newly created variable. Understood? So this is known as the implicit type conversion. We are converting from a smaller data type into the longer data type. So now let's see the explicit data type conversion. For explicit data type conversion, we'll take the another file with name explicit.java. As soon as we'll take the explicit Java explicit file, it will create the main function. It will create the class, and inside the class we'll create the main function. So we'll write the main. Okay, inside the main we'll take the larger variable, for example double. So double is a larger variable, so we'll take the double, and double d equals to, we'll store the value like 154.88. so this is the value that I am going to store. Okay, that I am going to store inside the double value. Now I want to convert it into the smaller data type. A smaller data type is what? Int is a smaller data type. So we'll take the another variable called x equals to d. But this is not a syntax for conversion in case of the implicit data type. The syntax is we have to write here int. We'll have to write here int in the bracket. Understood? Now the syntax completed. Understood? So for in the case of explicit data type, we'll have to first declare the one data type. Okay, that is of larger data type, and we wanted to convert into the smaller data type. For that we have to declare the smaller data type with some another variable, and we have to write the newly data type in which we want to convert the previous one in the integer section. For example, if I wish to convert it into the float, so we'll write the float, take the another variable, say r, which is equals to, we'll have to write the float inside the bracket, and after that we'll write the previous variable. Okay, that is the d is the variable where I have stored the value, that is 154.8. now what it will do, it will just convert it into the from double to the float and integer are smaller data type as compared to the double. Understood? Now we'll print, so remove this, we'll print the value. So sys out. So inside the system.out.println we'll write after conversion after conversion will print the value of x, because x is the newly variable created, okay, which is stored the integer value. So it will take the value from d and it will stored inside the x, okay, with integer data type. So what will be the output? Integer will ignore the 0.8, it will just store the 154. Why? Because integer cannot able to store the decimal value. So the value of x now it becomes as 154. See the output. Let us save this and see the output. Run code. See, it is running. See, after conversion the value is 154. It means integer ignore the 0.8. Why? This is known as the explicitly we are converting. Okay, so in case of explicitly conversion, we have a loss of data type, we have a loss of data that is of 0.8. okay, that is the reason we do it manually where we need. If we have a need for explicitly conversion, so we'll do it in this manner. Otherwise we are generally following the implicit type of conversion where the compiler do it automatically. That is the reason implicit is the automatic type of conversion, while explicitly is done by the programmer manually. Understood? I think you have grabbed all the concept related with the implicit and explicit type of conversion. Okay, so if you think that this video really helps you, please press the bell icon and subscribe. Okay, and stay tuned for the further videos. Thank you.